Hello, everyone. It's gonna take a look at November 13th current events. What happened today? Do some highlights. I did a couple videos. Didn't really turn out right, so I've been playing around with this. I'm gonna try to use my PowerPoint recording. See how it goes.
Did the president ever spend hours at Jeffrey Epstein's house with a victim?
Uh, these emails prove absolutely nothing other than the fact that President Trump did nothing wrong. And what President Trump has always said is that he was from Palm Beach, and so was Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein was a member at Mar-a-Lago until President Trump kicked him out because Jeffrey Epstein was a pedophile and he was a creep. And this email you refer to with the name of a victim that was unredacted now and has since been reported on in this room, so I will go ahead and say it, Virginia Giuffre. And it was CBS's own reporting, Ouija, that recently wrote that Miss Giuffre maintained, and God rest her soul, that she maintained that there was nothing inappropriate she ever witnessed, that President Trump was always extremely professional and friendly to her. And so I think it's a question worth asking the Democrat Party, and you should all go ask them after this briefing, of why they chose to redact that name of a victim who has already publicly made statements about her relationship with Jeffrey Epstein and is unfortunately no longer with us. Mary.
All right, so that's clip number one.
Did the president ever spend hours at Jeffrey Epstein?
Let's go to the next one.
Ouija.
Caroline.
Sure.
I have your statement about the new Epstein emails that have been released by House Democrats. Separate from why you believe the emails were made public, can you address their substance? Did the president ever spend hours at Jeffrey Epstein's
Okay,
house
that's the same
with a
video,
victim?
different clip.
Ouija.
Caroline.
In the interest of transparency, why not just go ahead, release the full files on Epstein, get this all over with?
This administration has done more with respect to transparency when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein than any administration ever. In fact, this administration, the Department of Justice, has turned over tens of thousands of documents to the American people. We are cooperating and showing support for the House Oversight Committee. That's part of the reason you are seeing these documents that were released today, because of the House Oversight Committee's and Republicans' efforts to get these out to the public. This administration also moved, the Department of Justice also moved to unseal grand jury testimony, which we know, unfortunately, a judge declined those requests. So this administration has done more than any, and it just shows how this is truly a manufactured hoax by the Democrat Party. For now, they're talking about it all of a sudden because President Trump is in the Oval Office. But when Joe Biden was sitting in there, the Democrats never brought this up. This wasn't an issue that they cared about because they actually don't care about the victims in these cases. They care about trying to score political points against President Trump, as we have, of course, seen with this government shutdown. And this entire thing, again, it's not a coincidence to the American people at home. There are no coincidences in Washington, D.C. And it is not a coincidence that the Democrats leaked these emails to the fake news this morning ahead of Republicans reopening the government. This is another distraction campaign by the Democrat and the liberal media, and it's why I'm being asked questions about Epstein instead of the government reopening because of Republicans and President Trump.
Nicely done. I say nicely done. I still would like to see more files released. The way they talked about it in the campaign should be addressed. If you talk about it in a certain way, the file, then you need to bring it out more. Now, when you get in office and you find out there's some classified stuff, you're gonna have to say it. It's coming out. We may all be dead, or be our grandchildren to find out, but it's still not being done to the extent that I would like to see it done. More polish, more a better presentation.
In the interest of transparency, in transparency, Caroline, why are White House officials then meeting with Representative Boebert in an effort to try and get her to not sign this petition calling for the release of the files?
Doesn't it show transparency that members of the Trump administration are willing to brief members of Congress whenever they please? Doesn't that show our level of transparency? Doesn't that show the level of transparency when we are willing to sit down with members of Congress and address their concerns? That's a defining factor of transparency. Having discussions with members of Congress about various issues, and I'm not going to detail conversations that took place in the Situation Room in the press briefing room.
All right.
In transparency, Caroline, why are
Now moving on from those highlights into what we have. I think this is going to be about the Chinese. Yeah.
Chinese military getting a major upgrade at sea. Beijing has commissioned its most advanced warship ever. It is seen as a rival to our largest aircraft carrier, the USS Gerald Ford, now off the northeast coast of South America. General Jack Keen's here to talk about it. General, nice to see you, sir. Always good to find out what the hardware race is here, and I have faith in our military, and I don't think we're going to miss a step. Nonetheless, here's what China is doing right now. About 1,000 feet long compared to the Ford, about 1,100 feet long. Here's the comparison. Displacement, 80,000 tons versus the larger Ford, 100,000. Aviation force, 50 to 60 aircraft. We've got 75. The range is 10,000 nautical miles. The Ford is unlimited because the Ford is nuclear powered. It has to dock like every 20 or 25 years, if that. General, how do you see the competition?
All right, moving to the next one.
Chinese military getting a major up.
Go past that
In the
one.
meantime, we've watched this war in Ukraine for some time now, General. And this war, in part, is dragging on because warfare has changed. And drones are a significant part of this. We are set to buy 1 million drones from the U.S. Army. What do you know about this, and how much further does it go?
Well, the Army's been at transition based on the drone warfare and its dominance on the battlefield for the last 18 months. I've seen 4 of their exercises, one in Germany, one in the United States in Louisiana. I was just out to the desert in California watching it there, and the jungle in Hawaii, and they're going to do another one in the Arctic in February. So the Army is taking a different path here than what they've done in the past. Usually we go to the schoolhouse, conceptualize something that's new, experiment and test with it, and work out the bugs, and then start giving it to our units. So what the Chief of Staff of the Army is doing, he's telling the division commanders, we're going to make this change simultaneously in your region of the world where you are deployed, whether it's in the United States, Europe, the Pacific, or in the Arctic. And we're doing that and exchange that information. And I've never seen anything quite like it. And as I've said, I've seen 4 of these exercises. What has happened here is drones dominate the battlefield, as you indicated, and it's resulted in positional warfare. What you get is persistent surveillance from drones. In other words, they can see a soldier, kill him. They can see an artillery piece, kill it. See a command post, kill it. See a formation, kill it. Why? Because very responsive rockets, missiles, artillery, bombs, precision fires follow that persistent surveillance. What the Army is trying to do, and that has resulted in positional warfare. We've talked about it here, trench warfare like we saw in World War I. The Russians and Ukrainians cannot maneuver their systems effectively, so they infiltrate against each other at night. What the Army is working with to break that mold, the Army fights in layers, like the Marine Corps does, not at just division level, but at corps level and JTF level, beyond the battalion and brigade.
Okay, but how would that work out?
In the meantime, we've watched this war in Ukraine for some time now, General. In the meantime, we've watched the. In the meantime.
Come on, move.
China has one military facility. So what is China really up to here? Certainly what they want to do is dominate military in the Indo-Pacific region, and they do have a decisive military advantage there, to be quite frank about it. And we have to deploy more of our capability into that region: offensive missiles, defensive missiles, drones, for sure, and other capabilities. But what they really have in mind also is they want to dominate and project power globally, like the United States does. And that's what we're doing with our 11 aircraft carriers and our ships. And there's two ways you project combat power outside of your country. One is maritime at sea, and the other is on land. Well, the United States has somewhere in the neighborhood of 500 plus military facilities outside of the United States. 63 of them are persistent facilities that have troops, airplanes, and maritime ships at it. China has one military facility. So they, in terms of the United States and projecting combat power, we're in 45 countries doing just that. It's really quite significant. Yeah. This is what President Xi wants to do. He wants to be a global power to replace the United States. Having that influence, not just economically, which we've seen all around the world, but having that influence militarily as well is strategically what he's up to.
Yes, but are we
China
overstretched?
has one military facility. What is China really up to here? Certainly, what is China really?
We are set to buy 1 million drones from the U.S. We are set to buy 1 million.
And so our viewers understand, anytime we get a new weapon system, whether it was a tank, an airplane, a submarine, a machine gun. In this case, it's a drone. There is always a countermeasure that eventually gets developed and brings it back into balance. That is happening with counter-drone capability, drones themselves, directed energy lasers. What we're going to have, every vehicle eventually that's moving on the battlefield towards the enemy at some point will have a counter-drone capability on it to be able to defend itself. The whole formation will kind of move in a bubble, so to speak, to protect itself from that. We're not there yet, but that's the path that we're on.
Okay. Yeah, you're gonna need it, especially in this day.
So our viewers understand.
All right, let's go.
But what they really have in mind also is they want to dominate and project power globally, like the United States does, and that's what we're doing with our 11 aircraft carriers and our ships. And there's two ways you project combat power outside of your country. One is maritime at sea, and the other is on land.
All right, two more slides
But
here.
what he wants to be a global power to replace the United States, having that influence not just economically, which we've seen all around
All
the
right,
world.
we
He
heard
wants
that
to be
one.
a global power.
I want to listen to President Trump right now on his meeting in October. Watch here.
We have a lot of drones right now. We build our own drones, but we also buy drones from others, and they make a very good drone. I mean, drone warfare has really come to the fore over the last couple of years because of this war.
He's precisely right about that.
All right, so thanks. Mix that up a little bit. Let me know how you like
I want to listen
or
to
don't
President
like the
Trump right now
format.
on his meeting in October.
I'm trying a
Watch
couple
here.
things. I'm having a little trouble
We have
with
a lot of drones
lag
right now.
in
We
my
build our own drones,
when
but
I'm
we
doing my
also
Zoom call
buy drones
and
from others, and they make a very
recording
good
the
drone.
YouTube.
Drone
I'll have to find a way
warfare
to
has
do that.
really come to the fore
So,
over the last
any
couple of years because of this
suggestions?
war.
He's precisely
Something
right
that
about that.
is, I'm not too IT friendly, so something that's easy to go. Drop me a line. Let me know what you think is slowing down my video when I'm doing a Zoom call. Yes, I found the best way of doing it, but it was the best way. I don't know. The internet is slowing down or something. So please like, subscribe, leave a comment. Appreciate it.